All right. So hello and welcome to Cyber Operations. Most of you should be probably seniors in the cybersecurity program. This will be the class that kind of puts everything together. We were going to meet originally in the city classroom that's upstairs here, but we didn't get that, so we're on campus. So if you're on-campus students, you're welcome to meet me in room 105 here in Hammond Hall. If you don't see me in here, just swing by my office. If nobody's down here, I'll probably just do the recordings from my office. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to jump in on Zoom meetings, everything like that. I'm going to record things every day on Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll post those immediately after in the evening because I have back-to-back classes all day, Tuesday, Thursday. Just pull up the syllabus, run through that real quick. So there's the information to get a hold of me. Best way to get a hold of me is by email. If you try to call my office, I may or may not catch it. So just email me. As you guys get any questions or anything comes up in this semester, most of you guys have had me in some capacity, but you guys know if you email me, I'm more than happy to work with you. So if you're late on an assignment, something comes up, whatever, just email me. That's all I ask for. And then I can work with you from there. So this course is centered around you taking the Cisco Cyber Operations Associate certification. I don't require that you take that certification, but this class does prep you for it, and I've had several students go off and take it. The change this year is that I'm also adding in CompTIA's CYSA certification, which is their CyberOps systems administrator kind of thing. So it's going to add some extra labs to the content, and I'll sprinkle them in with this. Normally, the Cisco side of things has about 45 labs, and I'm cutting that down. We're not going to do near as many labs as we used to in the past. We're going to add in some of these other CYSA labs in their place. But the modules, the dates, the content, everything's going to be released in there. In the syllabus, you'll notice week 13 shows TBD, week 14 skills exam, and week 15 is a skills challenge. Those are going to be flexible weeks. So what that means is we will use those. If something happens during the semester, then we may bump things up a week or down a week. Inevitably, something happens in a semester. So we have some time built into the schedule for that. In the skills exam and skills challenge, if we don't end up having a skills challenge this year, which we may or may not, kind of depends on how everybody's doing, that may bump that week down to there as well. So you'll end up with some 3 weeks to catch up on labs, curriculum, content, etc. But during the final week is when we have to do the final exam. So most of you being on-campus students, we have to hold finals during finals week. All right. The course itself, you can come out here to the certification information. This will get you the information on the CyberOps Associate side and then also on the CYSA. Note that this particular exam is pointed to the CSO 0002. There is a new CSO 003 exam out there. However, the content we're going to be covering is for the old exam. That old exam is still valid here for the next year or two, actually. So if you're going to be taking the certs, that's what it maps to. Each week, everything's going to get released on Sunday. So if you've taken any of my other classes, it's the same way. Everything's always due on Sunday of the week it was assigned. If you're going to be late on that, just shoot me an email. I would prefer you send me an email before the late, right? So if it's Sunday in the afternoon, you know you're not going to get to it, something came up, just shoot me an email beforehand. Don't wait till Monday morning kind of thing. For this class, we're primarily going to be using Cisco Netacad for the content, for the reading, for the exams, and for the quizzes, things like that you're going to be taking. That'll all be on Cisco Netacad. So to start this week, you'll come out here to this Linux refresher, and you will enroll in this Cisco Netacad class for this Linux refresher. And some of you may have already taken this, but I have everybody go through it just to start. Most of you have taken the Linux and networking class. This will refresh your thoughts and things on Linux, which you'll need for this course because we're going to be using both Linux, Windows, and we're going to be doing everything that you learned in Internet Networking 1, Internet Networking 2, as well as even the Palo Alto firewalls. If you guys have taken that class, we're going to be talking about those same concepts. So as you come out here, you can follow the directions that are out here on Blackboard. You can click on Login. Bring it back to the directions so you can see what I'm talking about. And week 1, Linux refresher. So follow these directions here. Once you click on that, enroll with your Cisco Netacad. Everybody should have a Cisco Netacad at this point because you guys have all taken Internet Networking 1. So make sure you log in with that account and then make sure you get in that course. The Linux refresher course is very, very short. It's only like 8 hours long kind of thing. And the exam's already activated. You can take the exam just to test your skills, but it's not used for a grade. So this week, all you have to do is go through the Linux Unhatched series, or the Linux Unhatched, and make sure you're familiar with the commands that are listed here on the screen. So these are all commands that you're going to be using in the CyberOps stuff. Make sure you at least understand what those are and how to use them. All right, the other part of this week is getting into the CyberOps course, which is a little bit different. So there you'll follow these directions, go out to Netacad. Instead of logging in, you'll actually want to log out of the system, and you want to choose redeem seat token. From that seat token, so for example, if I come out here to the website under login, don't log in, go down here to redeem seat token. And then from there, you're going to plug in and say you currently have an account, and then you can fill in your information. Here where it asks for the seat token back in Blackboard, should open that up in a different window there. See, learning modules, week 1, Netacad. You're going to have this seat token PDF, and inside this seat token PDF, you're going to find your name with your token over here on the left-hand side. So please make sure you're grabbing your token over here on the left-hand side, not somebody else's, and you should be able to go ahead and get logged into the section. Once you're logged in, you don't have to do anything in there this week. It will just be the Linux refresher stuff. Starting next week, I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. Up here at the top, there will be an overview. It'll tell you what you need to do in Cisco Netacad and what you need to do inside Blackboard. So for example, next week, you guys will read Module 1 and Module 2. You'll complete the Module 1 and 2 exam, and then I'm going to be reviewing the PowerPoints here in class, and we'll be recording those videos inside of there. I'm going to be trimming some of this stuff down, so we move through these PowerPoints rather quickly. Tuesday will be the day that we go through PowerPoints. Thursday will be the day that we'll go through labs. So you'll notice in this particular case that there's just PowerPoints in here, and so there's no labs next week. So it's just a way of reading. You'll do one exam, and that should be everything for that week. When there comes to labs, and we'll talk about that a little bit closer here, but let me pick one further down. You'll see a section that says labs, and you'll have a link to connect you all the way out to the NetLab system, and you guys will do all your labs on there. The last announcement, things I had this week, just a reminder, we do not have class next Tuesday. So next Thursday is when I'll do the class recording for everything on that week. I have to meet with some people across campus, so there's no way I can be here on that day. All right. So for those of you on here and online, do you guys have any questions? Adam, Jared?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So just as a heads up, this is going to be a very hefty class, right? I'm not going to tell you it's a breeze class. It's not. There's a lot of content, a lot of labs to get through, and you really need to know all this stuff before you go out in the marketplace. But everybody that's gone through this class, those that have gone out and done jobs as a SOC analyst, have all said they learned everything they needed in the class. So take that for what it's worth, but just know that you're going to want to dedicate some time going through here. Again, I'm flexible on the due dates, but don't let the labs get too far behind. Otherwise, you'll get buried in labs and exams. So try to keep the pace of everything that's in the classroom. If you miss a week because you're traveling, sports, whatever it may be, make sure that you catch back up the next week all the way through. Don't wait till halfway through the semester and then try to do things. Every student that's tried to do that has pretty much failed. They get too buried on getting those lab and stuff done. One last piece in the syllabus, you guys will see that the labs in this course are weighed very, very heavily. So you'll want to definitely knock out the labs. The labs themselves are worth 40% of the class. The exams are worth 20. The final exam is worth 20, and there's a skills exam. So at the end of this semester, after you go through all your labs and everything, you will put all those skills to the test, and you will actually have to do a skills-based assessment at that point. I will run you through the labs that you'll need to know for the skills-based assessment. It's not that bad, but it actually treats you as a SOC analyst, and you have to determine from the ticket what kind of attack happened, how it happened, what machines were infected, how it got through the system, that kind of stuff. You guys will be able to figure all that out during the skills exam. All right. Other than that, like I said, each week everything's going to be released. You can see it here in my recording, all the dates that'll be released. And then when we get towards the end, I'll unlock the other sections as it goes through there. Just know if you want to stay ahead or you're going to be off or something like that, it's usually the next chapter or two that's in there. So for example, week 2 is going to be chapter 1, chapter 2. For week 3, you're going to have chapters 3 and 4 going through there. Sometimes there's 3 chapters in one week. Most of them are not. Again, I'm going to be trimming out some of the labs and such. So there used to be about 45 labs from Cisco. You guys are only going to be responsible for about 20-ish of those. And then you will have about 20-ish labs from the CYSA. But the CYSA labs are going to give you a well-rounded cybersecurity background. A lot of that kind of stuff you wouldn't touch until the master's program. And so I want to try to get that into the undergrad program so you guys can understand what the next step would be or what you would do in the master's program. And if you guys haven't already considered the master's programs, particularly most of you guys are seniors now, but if you were juniors, we now have an accelerated master's program where you can double dip and get the credits for your undergrad for some of the credits in the master's, and you can be done with your master's in less than a year. So 4 years of undergrad plus 1 year of master's, and then you get all the way out. A lot of students that I've had come out of this, I know most of you have heard that speech, but most of the students in the undergrad are making anywhere from 45. I just had a student last semester make 85 coming out of the bachelor's and no prior work experience. The master's programs, I've seen people go from 65 starting all the way up to triple digits now. They started in just under triple digits, and now they're well over triple digits within the first year or two. So if you haven't considered it, consider the master's program, primarily because of all the skills and the hands-on you'll get. It will help you tremendously in interviews. I had one student that came out of the bachelor's program, got a job offer for like 45, 55. He's decided to stick around for the master's. After he did the master's program, interviewed back for the same job, got offers at 65, 75. And that was purely because he could answer way more questions in the interview just based off the extra content. So, all right. Nobody's got any questions. Again, the way I'm going to try to run this is on Tuesdays, we'll mostly do the recordings. Obviously, next Tuesday will be an exception. And then I will post those recordings out to the Blackboard as quickly as I can. Sometimes it'll be right after class. Sometimes it won't be till this evening. I just have back-to-back classes all throughout the day. And then Thursday, we will work on labs for the most part. So sometimes we'll do a second recording, but a lot of times we'll pick one of the labs and do it together. All right. I think that's all I got. Stop the recording.